The Aide reaction isn't used nearly as much as it should be. It's great for classes that don't really have a reaction to use, like a lot of spellcasters. I mean, yeah, it takes an action on your turn and a reaction, but the same thing can be said of the shield block reaction, which people use all the time. So I thought, let's try to make Aide a little bit better so that more people will use it. So that's what today's teamwork build is about. For our ancestry, humans are the best at aiding by far, so we're going with half-elf. For our background, we're going with Academy Dropout. We are building an intelligence-based class here. That means we're going to be trained in quite a few skills, and dubious knowledge will help us when we need to recall knowledge. And finally, for today's class, we're building a psychic. For our subconscious mind, we're going to go with Gathered Lore. While our psyche is unleashed, we gain the Recall the Teachings action. For one action, until the start of our next turn, we count as having prepared to aid all allies within 30 feet. When we use the aid reaction during that time, we automatically roll occultism for the check, as we are using occult teachings to help them. This usually adds the auditory and linguistic traits to the reaction. Then for our conscious mind, we're going with the Infinite Eye. This will give us the amped versions of Detect Magic and Guidance. If we amp Detect Magic, and we detect magic on an enemy or hazard, we gain a +1 bonus on saving throws against magic emanating from that enemy or hazard for 3 rounds. If we can cast Detect Magic at 7th level, and we amp it, the bonus increases to +2. For Guidance, the range of Guidance increases to 120 feet. If we amp Guidance, then we can cast it on an ally even if they're temporarily immune to Guidance. Also, amped Guidance doesn't make them immune to Guidance. You can also cast amped Guidance as a reaction whenever an ally fails or critically fails an attack roll, skill check, perception check, or saving throw, and the bonus from Guidance would actually help. The bonus from Guidance applies retroactively to their check. If you can cast Guidance at 6th level and choose to amp it, then the bonus from Guidance increases to +2. And lastly, the starting ability scores for this build should be Strength 10, Dexterity 16, Constitution 10, Intelligence 18, Wisdom 12, and Charisma 12. Alright, for our first ancestry feat, we're going to go with Cooperative Nature. Come on, of course we're taking this. This is just a flat +4 to Aide, and we're building around Aide. So yeah, definitely taking this. Then at level 2, I'm using the free archetype just like I do for all my builds, so we get 2 class feats. We're going to start with Mental Balm. Now we have an amp that we can use in place of any psi cantrip's normal amp entry. But we can only use this amp on a psi cantrip that affects us or any of our allies, and not any enemies. You or one ally within 30 feet gains a +2 status bonus on will saves against mental effects. We can also use this amp to counteract any effect that causes the frightened or stupefied conditions, as long as those effects only have a duration of 1 hour or less. If we successfully counteract the effect, we only remove the frightened and stupefied conditions, not any other part of the effect. And on the free archetype side, we'll take the Beastmaster dedication. We gain a young animal companion that we can command. This may seem counterintuitive, as we need 2 actions to cast most of our spells, and we need a 3rd action to either recall the teachings or prepare to aid. However, we really don't want to be targeted in melee combat, and sometimes there's going to be too many enemies for the marshals in our party to deal with. Smart enemies will want to target us because we're making everyone around us better. So an animal companion gives them something else to worry about. And we'll deal with the action economy issue a bit later in this video. At level 3 for our general feat, we're going to pick up Canny Acumen for our fortitude saves, since we're not going to get expert in fortitude saves until all the way at level 9. At level 4, we're going to pick up Astral Tether. This is for our Detect Magic amped cantrip. Now we can give an ally within 60 feet those same bonuses to saves against magic. Plus we can use it on Mental Balm if we target ourselves with that amp. And then it's Mature Beastmaster Companion. Our animal companion gets a little stronger. But what's most important here is that now our animal companion can use one action to stride or strike, even if we don't command it. Plus I'm thinking that most GMs will probably let you train the animal to only target those that directly threaten their master when not commanded. Then of course at level 5 we get our ability score increases and an ancestry feat. For our ability score increases, we want to increase our dexterity, constitution, intelligence, and wisdom. Dex, constitution, and wisdom for more survivability, and intelligence because that's our main stat. Then for our ancestry feat at this level, we're going to take Inspire Imitation. So when we critically succeed on a skill check, we automatically qualify to aid, even without spending an action to do so. Okay, first up at 6th is going to be Parallel Breakthrough. So we gain the psi cantrip of a conscious mind other than our own. And we want to pick up the Shield cantrip from the Tangible Dream conscious mind. This will allow us to use the Shield cantrip to protect others instead of just ourselves. And if we amp this cantrip, we can use it up to 3 times before it dissipates. We can also use multiple layers of protection to increase the hardness of the shields. Then on the free archetype side, we'll take additional companion. Sometimes we're going to need that land-based animal companion, and sometimes we're going to need the flying one. It just depends on the situation. Alright, at 7th level, we get our second general feat, and we're going to go with Toughness. This is just more hit points and easier recovery checks. Pretty basic. Alright, at level 8, we'll take Companion's Cry. We can spend 2 actions commanding our animal companion, and if so, it gets 3 actions. We're not going to use this a whole lot, but if a ranged enemy is targeting us from really far away, we need our animal companion to be able to get in there and provide that much needed distraction. So we can give it 3 actions, and then we can use our final action to prepare to aid, or something along those lines. Then we'll take Incredible Beastmaster Companion, which just makes our animal companions better. Pretty basic. Then at level 9, we get an Ancestry feat, and of course, we're going to be taking Cooperative Soul. This is a no-brainer. Now we can't fail or critically fail on aid checks anymore, as long as we're at least an expert in the skill we're using to aid. And since we're going to be using Occultism to aid about 90% of the time, thanks to Recall the Teachings, as long as we're an expert in that, we should be good. Okay, for our ability boosts at level 10, we'll want to take the same ones we took last time at level 5. That's Dexterity, Constitution, Intelligence, and Wisdom. Then for our first feat at this level, we'll pick up Signature Spell Expansion. Psychics in general need this feat. Since they're focused so much on their cantrips, they don't have many leveled spells. This will allow us to cast more of our few leveled spells at higher levels. Then we'll pick up Enlarge Companion. This will give us the Enlarge Companion Focus spell. This Focus spell gives our animal companion the effects of a 4th level Enlarge spell, making it huge. This will make our animal companion at least seem much more of a threat than us, allowing it to do its job way more effectively. At level 11, we'll pick up Die Hard. Die at dying 5 instead of dying 4. Pretty simple. At level 12, since we're finally an expert in perception, we can take the Overwatch dedication. This gives us a 30-foot emanation Overwatch field. Us and all of our allies within our Overwatch field gain a +2 bonus on perception checks when used for initiative. We'll also pick up Master Spotter at this level, so we become a master in perception. At level 13, we get an Ancestry feat, and we're going to pick up Elf Step. We can now step 5 feet twice, which allows us to avoid those pesky attacks of opportunity. At level 14, we're going to start with Shatter Space. This gives us another amp that we can use on any psi cantrip that takes 2 or more actions to cast. We can use this amp on ourselves or one target of the spell. This is an aura, and we choose the emanation up to 20 feet. A creature that starts its turn or enters the area takes 1d6 slashing damage for every level of the amped psi cantrip. The creature gets a basic reflex save against this damage. If the creature critically fails its saving throw, then it falls prone. This lasts until the beginning of your next turn. You can choose whether or not the aura affects the creature emitting it. This is mainly to protect ourselves and any other spellcasters that are in the party. As cantrips heighten every time we gain a new spell level, they're going to be taking 7d6 damage every time we use this. Granted, we are going to have to use a focus point every time we want to use this. But 7d6 damage every time we use it is not bad at all. Also at this level, we'll pick up Wide Overwatch. This will increase our Overwatch field to 60 feet. This will enable our allies and ourselves to go further away from each other and still gain the benefits of our Overwatch field. At level 15, we get our ability score increases and a general feat. For our ability score increases, we want to increase the same 4 we did at level 10. That's Dexterity, Constitution, Intelligence, and Wisdom. Then for our general feat, we're just going to go with Fleet for more speed. For our first class feat at level 16, we're going to pick up Constant Levitation. We are now under the constant effects of the Fly spell. In addition, when our Psyche is unleashed, we gain a plus 10 foot status bonus to our fly speed. This, of course, will allow us to avoid those pesky melee enemies on the ground. Plus, since we can always fly, other spellcasters in our party don't need to waste a fly spell on us if the party needs to fly. Next at this level, we'll pick up Control Tower. Us and our allies all gain a plus 2 circumstance bonus on checks to find hidden or undetected creatures within our Overwatch field. Also, you and allies within your Overwatch field do not need to make flat checks to target concealed creatures within your Overwatch field. In addition, if you or allies target a hidden creature within your Overwatch field, the DC to target them is only 5. Alright, for our last general feat at level 17, I think we're going to take Clever Improviser. This is just to help us aid with other skills besides occultism. At level 18, we'll start with Deepest Wellspring. Now we've got 3 focus points, so we need to be able to get them back as quickly as possible, especially as a psychic. So this will give us 3 focus points back whenever we refocus. Then it's Forewarn. Once per minute, when an ally in our Overwatch field is targeted by an enemy who is also in our Overwatch field for an attack, the triggering attack targets our Perception DC instead of our ally's AC. This allows the ally to avoid taking penalties to their AC. However, it does not remove the condition causing the penalty to the AC. For example, if the ally is flat-footed, then sneak attack still applies if they hit. Our last general feat can basically be anything you want. Take Ride to ride your animal companion if you want more mobility, or take Incredible Scout if you want to scout ahead. Up to you. And then for 20th level, we want to increase our Strength, Con, Intelligence, and Charisma. And for our feats, we're going to start with Unlimited Potential. So once per minute, when we cast a leveled spell that's 5th level or lower, we don't expend the spell slot. And then for the free archetype, I went with Specialized Beastmaster Companion to make our animal companion even stronger. Alright, for today's teamwork report, it's actually pretty simple. Most of the time, you're going to want to be casting a spell, like a psi cantrip or an amped psi cantrip, and then with your third action, recall the teachings. And you're definitely going to want to be as high as possible in that occultism skill as you can be. But if you get high enough level for Forewarn, then you may want to save your reaction. Especially if you've got an ally that has less AC than your Perception DC. Also, sometimes you're not going to be able to cast a 2-action spell in a round, and that's okay. You may need to fly somewhere, use Recall the Teachings, and then cast a 1-action spell, like Guidance or Amped Guidance. I know I say this in all my teamwork reports, but just look at the situation, what your allies are doing, and then respond accordingly. And that's going to do it for this video. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Pathfinder 2e teamwork content. Until next time, teamwork is vital.